Guys, if you're an Arsenal fan, this is very, 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 very bitter. And for me, just seeing the news, guys, to see Mudryk is now going to Chelsea, this is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Um, there's two ways to look at it. Yeah. If you're an Arsenal fan, the first thing is gonna be we didn't put the money down. We didn't make a statement. And that's very, very clear. But I understand where Arsenal is coming from here. I don't think Arsenal have taken that much of an L here because there is a bigger picture to this, Jack. But yeah, do you have anything you want to add to it, Jack?
What, like, James, we don't know who the hell this guy is. We need to stop talking about this guy like a guaranteed hitter, Frank Ribery. I don't know what to tell you. I understand the like Willian association, and Chelsea have taken one from you, kind of thing. We have no idea who this guy is and who he's going to be. So let's not get too hung up on this right now. Again, the fee not a good value in my opinion at all. Even based on the risk, I don't know what the ceiling of this guy is going to be. Certainly not for that kind of money. So for me, generally speaking, I think Arsenal are actually better off not getting this player. I know it hurts in terms of pride, but realistically, pride doesn't win you football matches. Arsenal are top of the league, and if they miss out on this player, it's to a team that is struggling at the moment, that is throwing you know what at the wall, and just seeing what sticks. So to me, I think there's just as much of a chance that you've missed out on a superstar as there is that you've just dodged a bullet. Seriously, I think it's a real coin toss, and I wouldn't get too hung up. This is not, when Hazard was leaving Lille,
Yeah.
and it was like, man, every team is in for him. This
Mm.
guy is a stud. This guy is gonna be a big deal. That if you'd missed out on Eden Hazard, you'd have gone, man, that's brutal. That sucks. I don't think we can talk about Mudryk in the same way. I
I,
really
Jack,
don't.
no, no, no. I totally agree with you there. But the one thing I'm going to say is that from what I've seen about the kid, he's one hell of a talent. He's a
Right.
very, 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 very good player. And the one thing that you can't teach for him is that for a lot of players is that he's quick. He's
Yeah.
lightning quick and he carries the ball well. There's players who are quick and there's players who are quick and can also carry the ball. And like he seems to have that balance right. What I've seen of him, can he make Arsenal better? Of course he can, Jack. With Jack, to me, we've been screaming out for another winger. The fact that Martinelli and Saka are playing every single game. We need somebody
Right.
to come in, not only just to challenge them, but just to fill in off the bench at times when games are going away from us. We need somebody to come in there, and he would have been an amazing, not only to challenge them in front of starting space there, but just for depth, like overall. But the thing that gets me with it is that few things is he seemed desperate to sign for Arsenal. He was putting on his Instagram stuff. He liked free Mudryk. He liked the picture of him in an Arsenal shirt. He videoed himself watching an Arsenal game. He videoed himself watching an Arsenal game, talking about two top coaches, all that sort of stuff. And Arsenal fans are thinking, okay, it's going to be Arsenal. He was even in interviews talking about how much he liked Arsenal. I don't think he was that desperate to join Arsenal, because if he's that desperate to join Arsenal, he would say, no, I'm not going to Chelsea. Yeah, I'm going to go to Arsenal. So you guys find an agreement with Arsenal. Because, Jack, we seen that last season with Rafinha signing for Barcelona over Chelsea when Chelsea met the evaluation. But Rafinha said, no, I need to go to Barcelona. So clearly, he isn't that desperate to join Arsenal. It's just basically the team is going to get their money. But the big picture to me here, Jack, is that Premier League football clubs have been held ransom in the transfer window
Right.
for many years now, but especially recently. We've seen these like deals like Anthony. We see deals like Jack Grealish for these crazy amounts of money for good players, but not £100 million players. Harry Maguire, not £100 million players. And because of the evaluation of all this, teams will now chuck any price tag at at a player just because they're a Premier League team. If Bayern Munich was in for this player, Jack, they're paying 40 million and it's done.
But again, it goes back to, I'm not a religious man, but it goes back to, I remember a story from, I think, the Bible of like, there's a guy who has all this money and he puts loads down and donates it to the church or to the poor or whatever. And it's like, it's not very much money at all, right? But in his vast wealth, it's not very much money at all. But in terms of the number, it's loads. It's this big thing. Whereas a poor person comes along and they give a penny, but the penny is all they have. So they've given everything, right? And again, it's just that kind of it's that kind of balancing act, I guess you call it, of what you have in terms of the value of what you have to you. The point being, the Premier League is that rich businessman, right? So you might look at the 100 million euros and be like, wow, that's a lot of money. To Todd Boehly, to Chelsea Football Club, with the future of the amount of money that football team's going to be making from broadcast revenue, just revenue from anywhere else, it's nothing. It really is nothing. And again, you made the point about Bayern, you made the point about these other clubs. They can't financially compete with the Premier League. There are very, very few teams that can. So again, the market is always gonna look that way. Very rarely nowadays are you going to get a good value for money kind of signing
but
based
Jack,
on the player that you sign.
you say that Liverpool were able to get Gakpo for a good deal. You know, I think for like 44 million
James,
or something like that.
James, like just played at PSV Eindhoven, no Champions League football. Like
But
again,
Jack, we're
that to
talking
me,
about a player from Shakhtar. You know, this is Jack. In Champions League, he looks amazing.
yeah,
We're not talking
get
about
you.
We're not
I
talking
get
about a world beater here.
no,
At
but
least
James,
at least
Cody
Gakpo was
Gap.
able to do well, like in the World Cup. And the Jack, we seen he was able to score against Arsenal. Like you've seen some.
It's true, but we're not. This is not. This is not. I'm trying to think of a. I'm trying to think of a good example of somebody. This is not Vinicius Junior or you know, I don't know, Rodri. I'm trying to think of names right now. Pedri. I don't know. Like this is not kind of a like we know what we have here type of guy. Leroy Sané. I don't know, somebody like that who we know what they are, what they're about in the kind of prime of their career type of player that we're bringing in. It's still largely an unknown quantity. Gakpo. It's funny you mentioned Gakpo. I was going to bring up Gakpo, Mudryk, the likes of somebody like a Rafael Leao as well. These are all guys who I would say are like kind of a similar, like we don't really know what they are at the top level, but they have talent.
But Rafael Leao's played in Champions League. He's dominated Serie A. Like we know,
no, James,
like
that's
he's
fine.
at that caliber. He's
But he is, but we haven't seen him that deep in the Champions League. We've not seen him really like play internationally at all. You know, it's not quite the level that we'd be used to of that guaranteed home run hitter talent. And I think it's the same across the board. That's why a lot of the time we see these players go to these clubs for smaller fees. All they can really afford. We know it for a fact that in the Premier League, we used to call it the Manchester United tax. Well, hey, now it's not just the Manchester United tax. It's the Liverpool tax, the Man City tax, the Chelsea tax, the Newcastle tax is what it's going to be. The Arsenal tax. It's all going to be the same thing, and it all it all contributes to the same problem.
But Jack, my thing, you look at Chelsea's point of view. So Todd Boehly, I think after the signings, the like he made previous to Mudryk, I think he hit the 400 million pound mark at his time at Chelsea. And Jack, this is only his second transfer window at Chelsea, which is crazy.
Nuts.
And now he makes this signing now. What happened to the word financial fair play? Like seriously, where is this going? Yeah, because he's spending all this money, and I'm not seeing too many players go out. Yes, he let Timo Werner go, but I'm seeing a lot of players, you know, come in, but not too many go out. So I don't know how all of this is working, Jack.
Well, so Pulisic will go, Ziyech will go, Lukaku will go, maybe Jorginho, maybe Conte. We don't know, but like a lot of big name players are going to be in some way, shape, or form on their way out. So that's still to come. But you know, you already made the point there. Even if all those players go for good fees, it's still not going to be enough to equate the financial fair play.
Yeah,
To
has a year left on his deal, so in 6 months' time, he's a free agent. Majority of these players, you're not going to get. You go to the rest of Europe, they're not playing crazy amounts for these guys. I'm sorry, Lukaku's evaluation was from here all the way down to here, Jack. So I don't know where you're going to say they're going to make up this money from.
No,
you know?
and they're not. But James, this is the problem. The intellectual property which UEFA and by extension which FIFA have, what has more value? The intellectual property and the value of having a Chelsea, a Newcastle United, a Man City, a PSG, is that more valuable, or is Birmingham City, right? Is Burnley, right? And again, this is always going to be the problem. These teams are not going to get stung with fines that look that bad. It's going to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. The right hands are going to be shaken. James, we're still living in a time of a very, very corrupt sport, right? The reason why the PSGs, the Man Cities of the world can still get away with this stuff is the fines they get. The number's big. There's lots of zeros, but relative to it actually affecting them, it doesn't happen, right? Teams being kicked out of the Champions League or banned from usually it goes to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, it gets turned over, or it gets pushed away. A bit more money gets thrown at the situation that doesn't really affect the clubs at all, and then we just continue business as usual. It happens all the time.
I don't know. I feel like Chelsea at this moment of time, like Chelsea fans are laughing and everything like that, but they must be a bit worried right now because they don't seem to be like a general like guide of where Chelsea's going. It just seems to be a target from another team. They're gonna go for it. Because João Felix, who said that Chelsea wanted João Felix, just came out of nowhere. Oh, he's available. We're gonna get him. Yeah, they didn't want to pay the money for Enzo, and they desperately needed somebody in the middle, but they go for a wide player after bringing in João Felix.
Well, and James, the contract length scares me as well. Badias Shile or whatever that defender's name is, that's a 7-year contract. Supposedly the Mudryk deal is another 5-6.
Yeah, 7.5-year deal.
7.5-year deal. Like, I'm sorry, but people change. Young men, and maybe not just young men, young people change over the years. To say that person is going to be at that level for that period of time, James, this could very easily be a flop. Very easily, in my opinion. Like, again, I appreciate what you're saying about the dribbling and the speed and stuff. We do not know what this guy is going to be like in a Chelsea kit. We don't know what he's going to be like in the Premier League. We don't know how he's going to adjust. There is a human being attached to the football player that we're bringing into this country. Okay, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And you've put 7.5 years worth of money and a lot of money down on a player who has come out of nowhere. I didn't know this guy a year ago to the day. And what is he, 20? He's 22 or so?
Yeah.
We usually know about these prodigies, James, when they're 17, 18 is when we start hearing about these guys.
But Jack, you also get a lot of gems in football. Like the guy that plays for Napoli, what's his name? The wide player, he came out of absolute nowhere. Jack, he played
the Georgian guy.
Listen, and Jack, he's ridiculous.
Look, that's fine, but James, I would say that's probably the exception to the rule. My response, my therapy to Arsenal fans would be, I don't think treating this player like a home run hitter, double-digit goals, double-digit assists type of guy that's now going to go to Chelsea and have them returning to winning leagues and top fours and challenging for cups. I wouldn't bet on that if I was a betting man. And I think that Arsenal might be better spent putting of that money that you were going to put for this player towards 3 players, towards 2 players, towards 1 player that you know is going to suit come the summer. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And James, if anything, if you can damage Chelsea by them paying loads of money for a guy that we don't really know a great deal about, but that sounds like a good thing to me for Arsenal fans. I don't know.
Jack, you made me feel a little bit better, but I still wanted the player.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like there's a few things. There's pride, the fact that one of your rivals has done this in back-to-back in the space of a week. They've taken 2 players that you were heavily linked with. They've taken both of them. So that's a big gut punch. Right there. It's also pride of you hear this links, you're excited about the play, you're thinking of how this player is going to be fit into the system. Then out of nowhere, yank, he's taken from you and he's going to one of your rivals, and he went from being one of the players that you're looking forward to see to be like, I want this guy to fail. It's not a cool thing, you know.
I would point Chelsea fans to the table. I think you'll feel a little better.
But Arsenal fans, let me know how you feel, because I don't feel great about this. Jack has kind of made me feel a little bit better, but I still wanted the player. We still need a player, so forget about, he might not be an Arsenal player right now. We have, 16, 17 days to identify another player.
Rafael Leao still out there.
It's possible, Jack. Good. How much is he going to cost right now? If Mudryk's over that much, I don't know how much Rafael and Jack. He's like a dream player.
Yeah, but you go to Italy with like 100 million euros. I'm just saying.
I really don't think that they would budge for 100. I think I'll be looking 100, 200. But Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, let me know right now what is just going on. What is going on with Chelsea right now? Surely financial fair play has to happen. Arsenal fans, did we mess up? Comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And me and Jack will see you next time.